welcome back to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry and this is Finish It Friday, where you see what I have gotten finished this week and what you have gotten finished. Well, I have on the board behind me the Block Wednesday, Pat Sloan's Block Wednesday Autumn Wonders. This one was called Fall Food or something like that. I'm still using my Elegance collection. These are all 4 blocks so far that you can see here, and that's going along well. Very easy blocks. If you want to participate in that, go over to ilovetomakequilts.com and get the free patterns, and you can also catch up on these and have a nice easy block to do every Wednesday. I'm enjoying that very much. I also got finished the Barnstar Sampler. Remember this? These are the 3 blocks for this month that we had to get done. That was block number 10, which corresponds to October. So I am up to date on that. And then I also worked on Happy Days. This block gave me a little bit of fits because I'm just not really happy with the instructions. The book that we got to do the sew along with, this is a block of the month from Stitch in Heaven. The instructions are a little not my style. Some of the older methods of how we used to cut things are mentioned in there, as well as the newer, and just mixing those all together just kind of confuses me sometimes. Maybe it's just me. Not a fan. Not a fan. But I also have a fairly large mistake on this quilt. The yellow was supposed to go where the blue is, and hence the star in the center should have been a yellow star with the dark blue behind it, so it looks totally different than the one that I was supposed to do, but I'm not changing it. So I worked on Happy Days. I got a block done. I'm happy. All right, and then did you also work on the assignment, stash busting assignment for that I set out on Monday, the Fat Quarter Fizz pattern from Fat Quarter Shop? It's a free pattern. I noticed on here they gave you several different sizes to choose from, and I did the one that was 20 fat quarters, and it ends up being 60.5 by 72.5. I have some footage of that quilt. I hung it outside, and I talked a little bit about it out there, so I'll put that footage right here. Here's my version of the Fat Quarter Fizz quilt pattern that I assigned on Monday as a stash buster. This one that I did uses 20 fat quarters, and it finishes at 60.5 by 72.5. And this pattern is designed to be used with lights and darks, which I didn't have a good supply of just lights and darks. So I used mostly mediums, and so I did a scramble of all of that, which loses completely the pattern that was intended with the Fat Quarter Fizz, but I like it. And you can see on some of my placement I didn't get quite what I should have. On the left you see 2 blue blocks that are pretty much the same, and then on the right you see 2 kind of tealish ones that look very similar. But overall, I like it. I used blues and teals, yellows and oranges. Very little pink or red or purple. I don't think I have any purple in there that I can see. So it does kind of coordinate. I think it would make a nice teen quilt, or a throw for a chair or something like that. So there it is. I hope you did one too. Okay, so some other things that I want to note about this pattern, I want you to note about it if you haven't done it. Let me know in the comments if you have done it. Would like to hear how many of you participated in that this week. But the blocks turn out this way. Now, normally you wouldn't have the same print here. This is just a sample block that I did But always remember to put your long block on the left, and all of the blocks will go together this way. If you make your two piles of blocks here, you have a small block and then a longer block. If you just lay those down and just start sewing them together, it's not going to go together right. So just make sure that your top block, top left, is a long block, and then you just turn them opposite after that. So yeah, the pattern actually has you doing lights and darks. I think I explained that in the footage. I did not do mine that way, so you know, it's fine to mix it up. But if you want to create that step down pattern, you got to have lights and darks instead of a mix of lights, darks, mediums, or all mediums, or whatever you have. I was trying to get rid of some fat quarters that had been around for a long time, and I just didn't really have any particular plans for them. So that quilt pattern was really good for that. I think it made a cute quilt, honestly, and I like that it's all mediums. You do have quite a few scraps left over from your fat quarters. I was a little disappointed in that. I think they could have made them a little bit bigger. I got a lot of big, like, narrow, I mean, they're substantial, like 5-inch by, I don't know, 12, 13 inches. So I did wind up with a lot of scraps out of it. But those fat quarters are out of my stash now. So that's a good thing. So try to make that if you can. It took me about 4 hours. I timed it, and that included ironing the fabric and all of your ironing of your seams and all of that stuff. So, and the cutting, all of it. So about 4 hours you could make that quilt from start to finish. Now let me see what you guys have got up your sleeves this week. I got a few emails in, so I'm going to share with you what we got. Dolores is moving along with her composition covers, and she also made an ice cream cover. Here her notebook covers are, let's see, she has 6 different ones here. Lots of cool patterns, love those. And then the ice cream, it holds a pint of ice cream, you know, like the little individual sizes, what I call them, because I would eat the whole thing. And she did it in this purple and gold print here. Turned out really cute. I've got that pattern. I need to make that. Good job, Dolores. And then here's Sue's. These are lung cancer and ovarian cancer quilts that she made for dear friends. Very nice of you, Sue, to do that, and great job. She's got some word blocks on there. I can't quite read what they are, if they're names or what it is. But, and I love that Cancer Cannot is what you've named them. Yeah, I think those are... Okay, so each block has kind of like a motivational quote in it. Very good. I see it now. And I love that turquoise that you have there on the second quilt. Beautiful. There's lots of movement to it. Very pretty. And then Giselle said that she says, I made these 2 lap quilts as wedding gifts for an older couple who got married after 20 years together. Hers has an Irish theme, as that is her background, and his features his favorite hockey team, and he's a collector of all things Boston Bruins. I quilted hers myself and had his long-armed in a hockey motif that I couldn't do myself. They are both 3-yard quilts from Fabric Cafe. They loved them. Yes, of course they loved them. And I love how you made the pillow shams as well. Makes a nice set, a very nice gift. Very good. Deborah, another top done. She says, I had a 10-inch stacker of Adele in Autumn by Riley Blake pulling at my cooler weather heartstrings. I am not a fan of hot days. So I decided to make 2 different leaf patterns, each for the first time. This is my own design. And voila, my 73.5-inch square quilt top is done. I have yet to piece the flannel backing with leftover fabric and bind. Very pretty. Wow, you should write patterns, Deborah. Very nice. Maple leaf there, and she's got a multi-block border and sashing. Very pretty. It'll be very cozy once you get the flannel on the back. And then later on, Dolores sent us something else that she was working on. It was a scarf. It was one of these cowl type scarves that you make out of Luxe Minky, and I believe Soya had those as kits that you could get here a while back. So you see, it's just kind of like a tube that's twisted once and then sewn up, and you just wear that around your neck very simply and easily, and it's nice and cozy. And then her casserole cozy is made of, I think that's Drummond Pioneer Woman fabric. Very pretty. And then let's see, Terry, she says an idea using the notebook project. So she made a notebook project, and then she's got this cute little idea, which I thought was brilliant, to do with it as a gift. She says, I was trying to get a quilt made for my sister's 60th birthday, but ran out of time. So I used a little bit of the fabric that the quilt would be made from and whipped up one of your notebook covers. I then decided to put flat stuff between the pages that a 60-year-old might find useful. The notebook was a snap to make and will give her a little taste of what I'm working on for her. At the cost of greeting cards these days, this was a perfect alternative. I will write in it some memories of us picking dandelions to give to Mom when we were children, hence the Northcott dandelion fabric. Yeah, that's a great idea. See the flat things that she got? She got a Panera gift card, hot cold iPads, hand warmers, and paint patches. So those are all flat and they'll fit inside the notebook, and then you can just give that all as one cohesive gift. I think it's a great idea. Awesome. And then the dandelion fabric is just adorable, and I want to see your quilt when you do get it done. Great job, Terry. Jane, she says, hi from Brisbane, Australia. I've just finished and gifted this baby quilt to baby Ted, now 3 weeks old. It's a Krista Moser pattern and did feel a bit like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, although the instructions are very good. It's the first quilt I have had professionally quilted at my local quilt shop called Make It Sew, S-E-W, and love it. Of course, I deviated from the pattern as the edges should all have been straightened, but I couldn't bring myself to cut the points off. Very cute. See the bee in the middle there, and then the black and white fabric accents that very well. And I see why you didn't want to cut your points off. That just made an interesting edge on 2 sides, didn't it? And that's a lot like the Stack and Whack kaleidoscope pattern that I did in a series. So I know what you mean about putting a puzzle together. Ernest has his designer mystery quilt finished. And he says, as the good Lord said, it is finished. The quilt was very challenging, but worth it in the payoff. There's a lot of negative space because of the lack of borders on the main 12 blocks, but the loopy meander quilting keeps it evened out. So I showed you this last week when I compared his to mine. And he used from his stash to do his, and mine was a block of the month. So when he said the lack of borders, he was talking about how he left that extra border of white off on those 12 blocks. He says the backing is the same print but different colorway, one in the log cabin and stars. It finished at 80 by 80. It will be on my Red Bud Quilt Company Etsy page very soon for sale. So which one did you like better? Did you like my block of the month according to the directions, or did you like his version? Put it in the comments and let's find out. After it's been quilted, I love it even more. I think it turned out fabulous. I love it. It's going to be for sale. Go check Redbud Quilting on Etsy and see if it's there yet. You might be the one to get it. Okay, Anja says, last Saturday I finished this beauty. It's called Woven Crumbs. I sewed crumbs smaller than 1.5 inches to register tape, then black on both sides, and squared it into 5-inch squares. So yeah, some major crumb quilting there. I tried to make a rainbow effect, she says. This was my vacation project. 2 years I took it with me when we were away. I'm pleased with it. 3 more to go. So this is one of her quilts she's trying to get done, and wow, that is a big accomplishment there. Look at all those tiny pieces in those blocks. Very pretty. And the black just really makes those pop out. Yeah, 2 years. Some quilts just take that amount of time. I'm still working on my hexagon quilt. I'm still doing crumb quilting too. I haven't touched that in a while, but I have a lot of crumb quilted pieces as well that I need to start thinking about doing something with. We haven't had a scrap challenge in a while, so it's time to do that. Okay, very good job, Anja. And then we have one more from Victoria, and I love this. She says, this is a quilt that got out of hand. The finished size is 68 by 92. I backed it with Minky, and it weighs 10 pounds. That made it difficult to quilt on my domestic machine, I would say so. So the lesson I learned was don't back a quilt with this large with Minky. Yeah, on a domestic machine especially, right? It looks so cozy though. I love it. I'm trying to see what the print is. Okay, it's a floral print. So her floral print has those big chunky solids in it. I love the color of it. I love the coziness of it. And look at that backing. And she just did that running wild wave that I do sometimes, and it turned out great. It turned out great. I love it. So cozy. I bet you were sore after doing that. Someone asked me about the horse panel project, and I have not started that yet. I really need to start that. I'm behind, and I'm going to have to beg for more time to get it done. I don't think it'll take a huge amount of time to do it, but I do need to get that done. Maybe that's what I'll do this weekend. We'll see. So that's all for this week. Thanks for all your finishes. I hope all of the rest of you that didn't send anything in still got some things done this week. I know there's thousands and thousands of you out there that are sewing like mad all week, and if I got all of those pictures in at once, I'd be in big trouble, wouldn't I? So a little at a time, but always feel free to send your finishes in so that we can share them with the world. And thanks for all the new subscribers that I've gotten recently. There's a bunch of you, and I really appreciate that. And keep tuning in on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for all the episodes of Lessons Learned. Monday is Monday Quilt Chat, and Wednesday is kind of a wild card video. You just never know. And then back here again on Finish It Friday. So sew a little something this weekend if you can, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Thank you.